right, so I just started the recording. We are about 30 minutes into the trading session.
Order filled.
Um started the day down about 20 negative 2100. That was from all the trades last night from the experimentation. And then the account got I think to what was it, negative 2700. Then we had a $1,500 win in 4 minutes on this move up right here. And the account got to negative 1,500. The last few trades have been losses, so now it's negative 1,800 now. And we are waiting for the next trade to go to profit. Here's the performance stats right here. I'm down. So on the 150K combine, so 476 bucks. You can see I had all these wins, all these losses. The total, the day by day, you can see I was getting, these weren't really enough trades last week. There's a very small amount of trades. I know I said all this in the live session for you guys earlier, but again, for the people who are watching the recording, this was not enough trades to really get a lot of statistical data. Yesterday, last night, I took 80 trades, ended up down 2K. And then, of course, from yesterday up until today, I've had more trades as we were on the live session. I think we started like 2 hours ago. Yeah, 7 a.m. It's about to be 9 a.m. So we started 2 hours ago, and
Order filled.
we're getting our orders filled. So let's keep on, let's keep going and see where it goes today. The last one was pretty cool. Let's see. Average losses are 40 to 50 bucks maybe. And then we had this win here, which was however much, 1,500 bucks or whatever. I'll say again for those of you watching the recording, most people cannot take small losses repeatedly over and over without getting pissed off. And most people cannot hold their profit targets, not profit targets, but they can't hold their profitable trades longer than their losing trades, which virtually guarantees they won't make money. It's not sexy to lose multiple trades in a row over and over, even if it's a tiny loss. And then it's not sexy to go against your screaming biological intuition to close profitable trades the moment you have profit. Um,
Order filled.
Mark, you're a perfect example of that. Like you learned very quickly from this one move right here, like not to set a profit target and just to hold the winning trades. You want to explain more of that?
It was a light bulb moment for me, seeing exactly what Nick's been teaching us about doing these little stop losses.
Order
And
filled.
if you have your idea, then to just go again and again and again, and that way, when it hits and you add to your trades, it it blasts away all those little stops. And the way it it worked for me was exactly that. And the psychology of it, where Nick was saying some people just can't deal with that, hearing the order filled and it's a loss after loss after loss. But the way I saw it was like in sales, you know that every no puts you one closer to a yes. And in this case, every loss puts you one closer to that big win, which makes up for all those little losses.
Works so well if somebody can just be patient enough to do it. But again, like, it's understandable why most people can't do it. Most people just they don't want to see loss after loss after loss. It's too painful. It hurts their emotions too much. You get so sad.
Yeah, I'm in a situation where I'm not really sure where to put my stop loss. I'm quite far in profit. But obviously you're trading the 1 second chart, so I don't know if you can take time away to have a look at what I'm looking at.
Send it in the chat, man. Let's look at it.
Okay. I put
I
a
have
little
to do
gray
it based on the dollar amount.
I've put a little gray line where I'm thinking of putting my stop loss. Hang on, let me.
Order filled.
I'm just trying to get my order filled real quick, Rob, and then after I've got 17 more orders filled, I'll
Order filled.
be able to go and look
Yeah,
at.
man, do what's important, man. It's cool.
But I really want to look at your orders. I would love your order to get.
Order filled.
I appreciate you rooting for me.
Yeah, man. Look, we're just here to get our orders filled, guys. Like I'm like, what's the point of getting into an order unless it gets filled, man? I'm gonna be like,
Exactly.
I'm gonna have PTSD with all these orders getting filled. I'm gonna be sleeping and order filled. I'm like, fuck, what's going on? I'm waking up at 2 a.m. in the middle of the night having nightmares. So this one will probably come back for break even. But then you see real quick, like this right here, if it just like say again, it's probably gonna hit break
Order filled.
right there. But if say it did turn around and it went into a lot of profit real quick, right? That little tiny move represents $1,000 of profit. And if the average loss is fucking 75 bucks, 60 bucks, 30 bucks, 12 bucks, 30, 30, 30, 50, 50, 30, then it's, it's just completely irrelevant essentially whenever you lose. Let's go and look. Sorry, Rob. There's so much movement right here. It's so beautiful.
No,
Yeah, I
no.
think it's gonna run back up, isn't it?
You make your money, dude.
We don't know. Well, I mean, not right now, but I don't know. We will see. We will see. I'm still trying to make sure that I have a good handle on everything. I personally think maybe it might go back down, but I'm gonna wait and see if we start trickling back down, then I'll get back in and add to it aggressively. Because if this could make a new low from here and I'm able to like get a bunch of order filled, then this could be like a $1,500 to $2,000 move. How many contracts, Mark, were you in on this move up here when this was going up?
2.
Wow, so only two, and you still made like over 400 bucks. I was in, I
Oh
think,
no, sorry, that previous one. I thought you meant the one that's doing right now. The previous one was
Order
4.
filled.
No,
four. Okay, yeah,
3. I've only got 3 green P&L numbers, so it must be 3, but I thought I had 4. Maybe one got cancelled out or something.
yeah,
But
maybe.
yeah, it looks like 3.
Okay,
One was 75, one was 100, and one was 262.
Order filled.
Rob, I just looked at yours. I would set stop loss to net break even on the basket of your positions right now.
Okay, that's actually what I've already done. I was going to put it but where that gray line is, but I've just moved it to break even
Order
in case it
filled.
just decides to turn around.
Yeah, this allows you to have I mean, look, you have over 100 ticks of profit if it goes. But if it turns around, then you're just break even. But it still gives enough room to account for volatility if price spikes back against you. And
Yeah, I'm
those,
following the same school of thought as you, where I don't really have a take profit. That line is just the previous highs on like
Order filled.
well, probably the 4 hour slash daily, and I figured it's probably a good spot to get out. But I'll still move it when it gets there and exit manually.
yup. Last month. Yeah, rolling P&L last. Okay. So for all the trades I've taken, 28% win rate. Average wins about double. Profit factor's just under a 1.0, obviously, with today's stats. Win,
Order filled.
win rate's 1 out of every 5 trades. They're really good because when you get those random runners, man, they just run and run and run.
Gotta love the runs.
Drink some rum and let it run.
Order filled.
Is that going to be your epitaph?
I'm hoping this doesn't fuck with my brain to hear
Order filled.
to hear order filled, like having nightmares. But whatever. If it fucks with my brain, maybe it's a good thing. Everybody needs to go through a little bit of pain.
You need to like add a beat to it, man. It'll be like a rap.
Yeah, yeah.
Order filled.
I'm actually with you, Mark. This might go back up. Broke back above, tested. Maybe we'll see it go back up.
Yeah, I got
Order
stopped out
filled.
by the
Order
dragged
filled.
stop loss.
Yeah, I'm long again. So we'll see.
Order filled.
See if it bounces here at the lows and it can get long again. And if it does break out, we should have a pretty sexy move to the downside. Next lows are like way over here.
Mm. Yikes.
Order filled.
Knocked out the low. So
Order filled. Order filled. Order filled.
so wait for a second, see if it starts to claim a direction.
Order filled.
I can't cross more than this balance here, 146. So this gives me another $2,000 worth of drawdown for this account. Otherwise, I'll have to pay 150 to reset the account. But I've gotten a lot of really good high quality data, experiential data, of course. I guess this is the same thing as saying I've just got a lot of experience this past week testing, seeing. The first thing I learned is like, don't trade Asian session. Things just don't
Oh,
move.
yeah.
That was a good data collection experiment yesterday, losing 80 trades in a row. Well, I mean, they weren't all losses, but like it was 80 trades and I was down 2K yesterday. So yeah, now I've taken 50 more trades since then. So 50 trades today so far, but this gives you way more data. Okay, let's see if I'm gonna add to it if it starts ripping up again. Break the high. Yep.
Order filled.
Broken the high, drag the stop up.
Order filled.
So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to watch these highs here to see if we can get above those. Either those or these.
I notice you don't look at volume.
Nah, I tried volume, VWAP, level 2 data. All that matters is the price action. It matters what the candlesticks are actually doing. So it makes sense to just focus on that, at least for me.
Yeah, every time I've got it there, I find myself not looking at it,
Yeah.
especially not at this speed.
All right. Might sell right now, see if it breaks the lows. Yep.
Order filled.
Okay, so stop above the zone there. And if it pins out and starts going back down again, then I'll just simply re-enter. As long as the losses are small, that's all that matters.
Order filled.
So now we'll wait to see if it breaks back below, or wait to see if it has a continuation back below. It's looking like it will try to go up. I'm gonna wait here for a second. It's patching around sideways. Okay, cool.
Order filled.
Bit more profit.
Order filled.
Add, stop, tightened. If it can knock out that low, that would be super, super sexy.
Mm.
I anticipate a little bit of a bounce right there if it can get there at all.
Order filled.
So we'll see what happens. Actually, this is still, let's see.
Big pullbacks.
Wait to see if it starts trickling down. Can trade these little, what is this? Lows. What do people call this? A downtrend?
Yeah.
Order filled.
Again, there is an argument to be made. I can trade the micros contracts because then the position sizing would be much easier. So say instead of 50 to 75 bucks, I could be risking like 25 to 50 bucks. And that would mean that the losing streaks could happen as, like at a longer pace. Because this right here, the guarantee of not taking a losing streak that could wipe out the account, it's just less likely as compared to if you're using micros. So I might consider doing that.
Order filled.
This is going good. I'm gonna drag the stop here, 25 bucks risk. See if she goes or if she spikes up again. It's kind of cool though, because you only have to trade for a little bit every day. Like you trade for the first few hours maybe of New York session, and then you don't have to worry about like, oh my God, I got a trade that's still going on like 17 days later and it's at break even. I paid $3,000 in swap fees. Add if it knocks out.
Order filled.
I've added because it knocked out the low. Move the stop closer. And just continue to trail it. I'm gonna wait for it to clear that low before adding again, just because I think it might bounce here, and if it does bounce here, it'll take me out. So I wanna wait and see if we can crack this. What's this, 6295? If we can clear that low, then we might have a quick run down. So we'll see. See what she does.
I'm nodding, but my mobile phone's battery died.
Okay.
Yeah, if you could see me, you'd see me nodding.
You'll see me.
Nodding off.
Nah, agreeing.
You'll see me turn religious and start praying.
And appreciate the call outs of your thought process too.
Order filled.
I'm only able to focus with a cup of coffee and a Zen nicotine pouch. Otherwise, I wouldn't be able to have the focus.
Oh, look at that. Nice.
Yeah, so it cleared the low. So like I said, since it broke the low, I've moved the stop closer. There's I mean, it's $37 worth of risk, but it's roughly break even. So, and if it
Is
does,
there something on here indicating how many times you've added?
Yeah, you see the number next to where
Is
the
that the-
positions are?
Is that the 4?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's it. Okay. Gotcha. So you've got 4 positions.
yes,
Got it.
the proper way to express it before contracts, but yeah, for
Oh,
entry.
contract. Okay.
So like Forex trading, it's like 4 lots, and stocks, it's 4 shares. Futures, it's 4 contracts.
Order filled.
Got it.
So I'm still gonna look to sell since this is still, I mean, it looks like it's still on a downtrend for now. But I'm gonna wait to see if we can paint something that can allow me to get in with a tight stop.
Order filled.
Yeah, 50, 60 bucks. Yeah, this is good. But that one went into how much profit? Like
Order filled.
400 bucks at one point.
Yeah.
And then the final target, just a new low, would have been 1,000 bucks. But I likely would have been able to add more had that happened. And so the final target would have been 1,500 to maybe 2,000 bucks, depending on a bunch of specifics.
Right.
But again, like I can't cross more than like less than 2K of drawdown today. So that means I have to, like, in order to not, lose the drawdown limit thing, can't lose more than 2K in the next one, which, I mean, that could happen.
Does it reset tomorrow?
The account?
No, the amount of drawdown you're down. It's not cumulative every day, is it?
It is up to 150K. So when you start at 150K combined, you have 4,500 of drawdown, meaning you cannot let the account dip below 145,500. And then as you continue to profit, which I did originally, I grew the account like 1,300 bucks. Then they adjust the drawdown limit at the end of the day. I don't know if it's the end of the day or the end of this, or immediately, like once you reach the growth target. But let's say you grow the account like $1,000, now they'll drag the drawdown limit up $1,000 from where it was originally at. And so that way it'll stay at negative 4,500 from your high equity watermark, and it will
I
stay
see.
there until you get to where you've grown the account more than 4,500, at which point the max drawdown will stay what your account balance was initially, which was 150K. So even if you grow the account to 160K,
Order filled.
the drawdown limit will remain at 150K, which is cool.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
it makes sense.
Yeah, yeah. Thanks.
Order filled.
Glance at the little bit bigger picture. Still think we could go down, so I'm gonna keep on getting cells here.
Order filled.
We knocked out the low, so sell. So liquid, so perfect, so exact. We knock out the low, I will add. So the little recent low it's created, I'll add
Mhm.
here.
So good.
Ay, 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 ay.
Order filled.
Glance up here on the time frames. I said
Yeah.
time frames, and then Alexa responded like, "There are no timers set." And I'm like, "Alexa, why are you listening to me?"
So you were jumping up to just kind of see if you thought a trend looked different or motion of the, is it going up? Is it going more down?
Order filled.
I think it's just me glancing up because my brain can recognize what I think would be reasonable.
Hmm.
And so there's not really any, it's not like, okay, the 15-second chart, guys, let's see if it's bullish or bearish, or let's see if
Gotcha.
it's an uptrend or downtrend or this and that. They're all just subjective terms that aren't really useful. What's useful is honestly just getting into a trade you think will go up or down, make sure the risk is very small, and then make sure you have a way where you can make a lot more when you do win a trade.
Got it.
Otherwise, the opposite of that's a DCA strategy where you're going to win almost every time, literally 99% of the time, because
Order filled.
it'll go against you, you'll add, and then eventually you'll blow the account. So that one huge move of when it goes against you, you'll blow your account. But in the meantime, you have a bunch of wins, right? And that works under the right risk settings.
Mhm.
But this is the opposite, right? You
Yeah.
will lose almost every single time, but when you do have a big win, you have a huge win that grows your account, and then it virtually ensures that you won't be able to blow your account again unless you're using something like Top Step here, where you do have that drawdown limit. I mean, yeah, like if I had 100K drawdown, right, the whole account, or 150K drawdown, I struggle to see where I'd take 1,000 trades and not get like a single huge winner. But I mean, I guess that could still happen if we're just being super technical. But realistically, like, yeah, I mean, even just with random chance, you're gonna get a winner at some point.
Mm.
So you need to give yourself enough room to account for losing streaks. Otherwise, if you don't, then you'll quickly breach either your account balance if you're trading a cash account with like TradeStation, like I was, or
Mhm.
you will breach the loss requirement here on the Top Step thing.
Gotcha.
So again, like I might use micro contracts and experiment with that. I need to make sure that I've got it all down. But the cool part with this is Top Step, like $4,500 drawdown limit. It's $150 to reset your account, and then of course the $150 a month as always. But if you like say I blow this, right? I pay another $150 and they just reset it, and now I have another $4,500 drawdown. This is
Mm.
essentially saying like, okay, if you had 4,500 to trade, and you blew that account in one day, you lose $4,500. If you do it here, you only lose $150. You could blow an account every single day for 30 days in a row and then keep resetting it at $150 every time. You could pay $150 every single day for 30 days in a row, and that is 4,500 bucks. So now you've had the opportunity to have 30 times 4,500. You've had the opportunity to have had $135,000 worth of, drawdown versus like this is like it's like paying $4,500 to have access to $135,000 of trading capital because you have to look at that daily drawdown limit. This is a fuck of a lot better than putting $4,500 into an account and then blowing it every day for 30 days in a row because then you lose 135K. If you
Yeah,
do the
right.
same thing but with Top Step, you only lose 4,500. And how likely is that? Like, are you really going to blow the account every goddamn day? Like, I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe I could, but maybe we'll see. Maybe not. Okay, so
Challenge accepted.
yeah,
Order filled.
this looks like it might go back up. I'm going to start a long position. We're going to see if we can get some movement back up.
And you can have bigger stop losses with the micro
Yeah,
ones.
you get bigger stop losses, and it would still represent 25 to 50 bucks risk. If we knock out the high, I will add and move the stop closer.
Great
Order
brains think
filled.
alike.
Knocked out the
I
high.
just switched to buys as well.
It's cool because if the trend shifts, right, and you're on the 1 second or 5 second or 15 second or even 1 minute, you're the first to know about it, right? Everyone else is waiting. I gotta wait for the 15-minute candlestick confirmation.
Yeah.
Like, bro, I've had 60 candles per minute times 15 minutes. You've looked at 900 candles while the motherfucker waiting on the 15-minute has looked at one. So it's like you'll be the first to know if it starts shifting. And yeah, you're gonna take, you know, it'll stop out, it'll listen out, it'll go back and forth and all the bullshit. But like when you do get the win, like very quickly over the course of a 15-minute period, you could have like 10 to 20 trades, and one of them say wins. Um, if this knocks out these highs here, I will add. I want to wait for it to get above, then I can add and I'll move the stop up.
Order filled.
Okay. Added. A stop is essentially at break even now. Potential profit targets. I'm going to start with that. Those are previous highs, so I'll just kind of keep it there for now. And then what I'll do likely now is I'll wait for it to kind of pull back first and then start to kind of trickle back up. And then if it looks like it's going to trickle back up and knock out the high, then I'll add again and move the stop. So we shall see.
That tilt feature is showing that more people are going long.
Well, that's cool. I saw something about that when I was looking through Top Step. I was like clicking around the account because I'm still getting used to all this shit.
Yeah, apparently the tilt at the bottom shows what percentage of top step traders are going long or short.
The tilt. 69%. Going long.
Long.
Oh, wait, no, this is ES. 57% for ES. This is
Yeah.
what, NASDAQ? What is this? NQ? What is NQ's NASDAQ, isn't it?
Yeah.
This goes to show how
So
retarded I am when it comes to this. I have no clue, like, what the tickers even mean. Like, bro, what are you trading, man? I'm trading like, bro, I'm trading ES. Like, what? What's that? I'm like, yeah, ES. And they're like, what do you mean? Like, you mean like ES? And I'm like, oh, is that how you say it? Yeah, I'm trading ESU 2025 exclamation point one. That's the contract I'm trading. And they're like, okay, I don't even know what that is, but I'm trading it.
yeah, why can't gold be AU or something that at least makes sense? I think gold is something like GC or something.
Oh yeah, I don't even know. Gold contracts, GC.
Yeah,
something.
that makes sense.
XAU USD. This is probably going to hit break even here in a second.
Order filled.
The hit break even, I'm gonna wait to see if we look like we're gonna dump off from this zone, or yeah, so this looks like it'll go back down. Okay. I need to wait for a little bit more of an entry. So wait here for a second. Yeah, see if it can.
Or it could be the retest of going up.
What I like to do is wait for it to kind of do some shit like this where it's like, where's the here we go, the path tool. I like to wait for it to tug back, and then once it starts creating the new high, then I like to like start my position somewhere as it starts going back down, because then it means you can just throw your stop above the recent high, and then if it breaks, fine. But if it like here,
Order filled.
Yeah, that makes sense.
it's just again technical analysis is just there.
Order filled.
That's all technical analysis is used for. It's like you looking at it and saying, where do I put the stop? And then so for here to add again, I'll tighten up the stop. But to add again, I'll wait for it to kind of pull back. And then once it starts looking like it's trickling back down, I'll add. But even then, sometimes I don't even do that. So it's kind of like, I don't know. It's a lot of pointless conversations.
The only thing I can find about this platform that I don't like is that these little tabs that are in your chart for adding an entry to a position and having your stop loss and your take profit is that you can't move them over to the left side of the chart.
Order filled.
The left side of the chart, yeah.
Yeah, I don't like them being here where the actual price action is.
I really, so you can't, I thought you'd be able to,
In TradingView, you can.
oh yeah, they don't have it here.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly where you're looking now is where it is in TradingView.
So yeah, so it's just a
Order filled.
the truncated version of TradingView.
Just got to get in the habit of moving the price
Order
action
filled.
over.
I'm approaching max drawdown, which is I'm about 1,500 bucks away from 15 or 1,600 bucks away from max drawdown. So
I haven't lost so much money today. I've just paid so much money to learn so much today.
you actually paid a small amount of money to learn so much today.
Yeah, that's it. I've paid a small amount of money to learn so much today. Like today was at least 3 massive light bulb
Order
moments for me.
filled.
And to have it work and see it play out in practice and hear you talking it through as it's happening, both on your trades and my trades, it's just beautiful.
Yeah.
Best Zoom session ever for me.
Sweet.
I mean, learning wise.
Nice. Yeah, we'll be doing them every day. So, well, I mean, unless there's like slow markets or it's a holiday or something.
Yeah, I've got to be less reckless than I was today. Today is just big oof. I'm down
Order filled.
$969.
You're only down $150, really, or
No, 969. And remember, mine's not the $150 account either. Mine's the one that has $50,000.
so what's that? $100, $75, $50? How much does it cost?
Oh, yeah, you're right. It's in Australian dollars, it's $80
Order
a
filled.
month. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah.
Order filled.
So you're down $80.
Yeah. Gotcha.
Great.
Order filled.
Cheaper than going to some school learning like university.
Order
thousands
filled.
of dollars to learn a skill or a trade.
It's also cheaper than using your own capital, because then you'd really
Yes.
be down. You'd be down 1,000 AUD. You'd be like, fuck.
Oof. Yeah. And I've got
Order
2
filled.
accounts that I can close and take money from to fund this if I want to or need to. There's my broker, my stock broker, and my Forex broker. Which honestly, if this is so much fun, and if I can make this work, which I can't see why not, then I can't even see any point for trading Forex anymore.
Could make an argument to just trade higher time frames and swing trade
Swing trades, yeah.
because those work, and plus it allows you to be more patient because now you're no longer looking at Forex every fucking day. You can look at it once a day, swing trading, let it play out. It's the only way to make it work with the higher fees and commissions and spreads, and of course now you have swaps and Forex as well if you're holding. So I mean, it still works. I'm on the one trade I've just taken last week. Like I haven't done anything to babysit this trade at all. It's up around 6,000 right now. If it
Oh,
goes, if it goes to the target, right, and it's very simple analysis, the daily chart. It made a new high. I think it'll pull back to make a higher low somewhere in here, and I've got to take profit. It'll be $30,000 if it wins.
I can't remember what day it was, but there was one day where I looked at it and thought, how can Nick still be in this? It went so far into the red. I mean, in stop loss area, drawdown, as you call it. And then I looked again, and you were still in it. I was surprised you didn't get taken out.
Yeah, well, I mean the
I guess I
stop
guess it was around the 3rd of July.
yeah, stop was really far. So I mean,
Ah,
yeah, it's like the stop is all the way above the recent highs. Or sorry, there was no recent highs. The stop is up here, right? So the idea is that it'll reverse somewhere in this area, have our mean reversion move back to the downside over the next week or two. That's the idea, right? And if it goes all the fucking way up here, then I get taken out. I lose like 30K. But if it goes down here and works, then I make, about 30K.
would you, if I said, oh, should I still get into it at this stage? Would you say, yeah, of course, because it's got so far to go? Or would you say, no, don't bother because you're not taking advantage of the whole trade like you have?
I would say no, just because the risk
Order filled.
with the risk structure on that one, it's not very viable.
Gotcha.
Yeah, because then you'd have to put your stop like way above to because the invalidation of the trading idea is radically above the previous high, puts your potential for
Mm,
profits even lower. You're not even getting a 1-to-1. Forex trading is already hard as fuck to begin with. Then you start diving in without even being able to get like a reasonable 1-to-1. If the idea plays out, it's just not worth it. If it pulls back more, like say Euro USD does some shit like this which it might. I mean, keep an eye on it. If it goes,
yeah.
say, like up to that high, like around here where my entry is, I would say, yeah, it's still fine to enter up there. But at this exact area, nah,
I think it will actually do what you just showed.
yeah, could pop up
Yeah.
like a lower high, go all the way to the previous high, mess around, act crazy, act wild, silly Euro USD.
Well, um, how about silly S&P 500? We've been had a wild ride tonight.
Yeah, spiking around.
I got to go deal with day job stuff, so I'm just gonna
Order
kind of like go
filled.
dark and lurk and watch. So have fun, y'all.
My
See you, Nick.
condolences, and
That's
it's
all
been
good.
thanks for your inputs today. It was great.
I have a pretty okay day job and I work from home, which is cool. And sometimes I can just like do this for 3 hours and monitor
All
stuff.
right, fine. No sympathy then.
But
Go
today,
away.
what?
I said, fine then. No sympathy.
I don't need sympathy. No, I don't. No, it's fine. But
Order
today I've
filled.
got a bunch of shit I got to do, so I'm gonna go do that and just kind of watch. But anyway, it's fun. See you, Nick. Bye.
Cheerio. Yeah, all your groups, people are so nice. Everyone's really helpful and friendly.
Yeah, man, thank you for that, man. I was wiping Ruby's face. I was wiping my dog's face. She has
Doggy.
snot all over her face. Yeah, no, I appreciate it, man. Yeah, everyone here, I like hanging out with you guys. I love chilling. I love chatting, hanging out. Everyone feels sweet. Not too many people are assholes. If anyone's an asshole, it's usually me. It's great.
Order filled.
Yes, yes.
Run, baby, run.
The open was pretty wild. Spike up.
I've stopped. I was trying to keep my trading journal up to date, but with trading like this, it's just too much. I can't keep cutting and pasting.
Yeah, you can go the replay mode with TradingView for ES is pretty nice.
Order filled.
And you can do that to get experience. You could also record your trading sessions perhaps using a screen recorder. And
Yeah.
you could just go back and kind of watch what you did and pause and see like, could I have done anything different there? And just let the experience teach you.
Yeah.
It's your brain just has to see it over and over. The repetition is what gets you to kind of be like, okay, in this case, I should do this. But it'll happen like it'll generate like Chat GPT, like in the moment on the spot. Like you'll know,
Yep.
like, should I enter or not? Your brain doesn't have time to go through rational, logical arguments,
Order filled.
planning out this, planning out that. Your brain will just generate a decision like sell now, stop there, add if it does this, close if it does that. But you won't be able to put it into words or explain it or any shit like that.
Roger that.
This could still have a pretty nice move up, honestly.
I feel that. I feel like it's gonna run up.
Honestly, man, I do too. I'm still gonna trade what I see on the on the lower time frames and stuff, but I do feel kind of like
Order filled.
a tilt to the upside is a pretty reasonable thing.
Order filled.
If we knock out these highs, I will add again. It's interesting because when I add, it becomes less risk.
Order filled.
Like that was like 37 bucks. The original risk was like 50 to 75 usually. But when I add, it's like,
Yeah, I'm not sure I've fully grasped yet what happens when you add, like what happens to your stop loss and what happens to your actual entry. Like, does the entry move when you add?
yeah,
Yeah, it goes up a bit. And then the stop loss, does the stop loss just stay there?
it
Or
does.
does it get averaged out as well?
Oh no, stop loss stays the location you put it because the stop loss is an absolute value, whereas your position average is a dynamic value that changes depending on.
Yeah, so that's where I have a problem. Let's say you add a position, so but now your stop loss is a lot more expensive, let's say. And then and then I worry because now, oh geez, now it's $100 draw if it goes to stop. So I am tempted to move it up, but then I get taken out because I moved it up.
Yeah, so let's pause right there.
Order filled.
That is okay. Like the way I do it, you'll see. So let's say we'll wait to see where this one goes. If it goes into profit, I'll show you. Um, the idea is that I do not even look at technical analysis when I add. What I do is I add and then I drag my stop loss up to kind of trail right behind the entry. So that way, if I'm wrong and it comes back, regardless of what the fuck the
Ah,
technical analysis is, I
yeah.
just lose a small amount, right? And I the whole time I'm adding to a trade that's winning, this the loss remains no more than what I would have lost originally if I would have entered the trade, and then oftentimes much less than that, in fact. So Like this, I haven't added yet. If it goes and breaks this high, then I'll add and you'll see where I move the stop loss up. But consider right now the stop loss is at $50 risk. Let's see what happens. If it breaks the high, I'll add.
Order filled.
Broke the high. Now I've
Yeah, I wasn't doing that. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I was scared to do that, but now I understand it's just part of the process.
yeah, let it
And
drop.
and I don't have to worry about it becoming bigger.
Order filled.
Yeah,
Exactly.
because I was like kicking myself twice. I was getting hurt by not moving it up and by it getting bigger. Yeah, so I get it. Thanks.
Yeah, of course, man. It's very
Oh,
counterintuitive.
so exciting.
It's very counterintuitive to a lot of people's emotions, but um that must be done because all like again, all this does is it guarantees that when you get a winner that runs off and a ton of profit, you have the potential to make exponentially more on that winner than you would have otherwise, lost if it loses. You lose, it's like the worst case scenario, you lose what you originally risked. The next worst case scenario is you lose smaller than what you risked. And then the next worst case scenario is that you break even. And the next worst case scenario is that you have a small profit, right? If it comes back to break even or a small profit. Notice how in all four of those examples, none of them is that you take a huge loss, right?
Yes.
But then
Why are so few people trading like this?
it goes against like it goes against our maladaptive evolutionary biological instincts. Like humans, when they were hunters and gatherers, um, we had the drive to protect what was ours because that was the better idea. Like, say you were for the past 6 million years of hominin evolution, um, when you had food, say you had a ton of food, right? There was no sense in risking what you already had to go out and get a ton more, right? This is why
Yeah, I get that. I just I can't believe that people who are, these people who their whole life is
Order
trading,
filled.
that they haven't decided that this is a great way to do it.
it's so powerful. It's more powerful than you not reaching for Zyn nicotine pouches or whatever, right? Like you like using nicotine, you have a biochemical sort of dependence, or some would call it an addiction to it, if we're being like, full on addiction to nicotine, Mark. Um, and so you are governed by those biochemical processes, right? It's the same shit when it comes to evolution. We are pre-wired with an instinct to not lose what we
Yeah, yeah, I
have.
know. Yeah, I agree.
And this is why it makes it insanely difficult for people to hold a winning trade because they're like, okay, it's $50 profit now. Let me just close it now. Let's just close it now. Then I can be away from the pain, away from the potential for loss. I have some wins. This is essentially our caveman brains saying like, yeah, we have a ton of food right now. Why are we gonna
Order filled.
why are we gonna go risk our life trying to kill a woolly mammoth to get more food? We have plenty of food right now. Let's not risk it. Okay, so that manifests itself as saying, I have a winning trade. Let me just close it. Let me take the profit. Boom. Now I'm like safe. I can relax. I don't have to worry about losing what I already have. Boom. Our evolutionary drive is fulfilled. Now consider the opposite. The opposite is if you are already in a loss, let's say you don't have any food, right? It is an evolutionary benefit, just
Order filled.
objectively speaking, it's an evolutionary benefit to risk everything you have, including your own fucking life, to go out and kill a mammoth or find berries or kill some sort of other large animal, so that way you can eat. Because guess what? If you don't take that big risk, if you don't have that like lack of risk aversion, then you are guaranteed to die because you will starve to death. And so our ancestors developed this as a way to as a survival mechanism that served us really well for the past 6 million years. Um, when you're in a loss, meaning you don't have a lot of food and you're losing, meaning you're dying because you're starving to death, it makes a lot of sense for your body to pump out cortisol and adrenaline and norepinephrine to motivate you to go and search for food. Because if you die doing that, well, you were going to die anyway, so it's no big deal. But if you found,
Order filled.
then you were able to live, and then the people that lived because of that tendency, that biological tendency through evolution, that allowed them to be able to like survive, and everybody else who didn't have that died. So consider what that means in trading. The analogous example is you're in a losing trade and you don't want to lose, right? You don't want to die. That's what your brain is telling you. And so instead of taking the fucking loss and losing small, you end up dragging your further and further and further, and you take on more risk when you're already in a losing position. In the same way that you would take on more risk to go and like potentially die trying to search for food if you were starving to death and losing the game of life and you're about to die. It's the complete analogous example to trading, and it makes perfect sense, just not in trading. It makes perfect sense from a survival standpoint, given our ancestral history, but it makes zero sense and it's completely maladaptive to trading, right? It is maladaptive and completely counterintuitive to add to losing trades in something like day trading. Now, again, if you're buying the S&P 500 on dips and buying Bitcoin on dips, that's different. If you're adding to losing trades there, that is completely different. Those are long-term assets that trend up, usually long-term. But in something like day trading, Forex or futures or something, adding to losing trades is one of the worst things you can do because it can quickly turn into a ridiculous loss. And then on top of that, closing winning trades too early is maladaptive because you're protecting what you already have, yes, but it guarantees that you don't make as much money on your wins versus what you lose on your losses. This idea of capitalism and making money is completely new to humans' brains. This idea of protecting capital by getting out of losing trades early and taking the loss, no matter how emotionally detrimental it may feel, that is the better decision every single time when day trading something like ES futures. And then the contrary is that closing a winning trade early is maladaptive because it guarantees you won't make as much on when you're right versus when you're wrong. So it is better, way better. And it's just so obvious, right? Because like big hedge funds and institutions and hedge fund managers and billionaire investors all say the same thing. Don't add to losing trades, only add to winning trades. And then what they'll say is whenever you do have a winning trade, not only that, add to your winning trade. It makes zero sense. Why would I risk more when I already have profit? Now I'm going to risk more by adding to it to get a shittier position average and make the likelihood of it coming back and hitting my break even stop higher. That makes zero sense because your brain is telling you, Mark, we already have food here by the campfire. We've got enough food to last us a month. Why are you going to go risk your life tonight trying to kill another woolly mammoth? This makes no sense, dude. That's what your brain's telling when you have a winning trade and you feel the desire to close it early. Now, I'll pause here. Let me know your thoughts so far and everything I've said, Mark. I want to hear your
Oh,
side.
I understand and agree with all of it. I wasn't asking about why retail traders don't do it. I meant why don't there's big institutions that you mentioned do it? Because they're the ones that are supposed to be the professionals who aren't handicapped by, you know, primal psychology.
Day trading is not something that can be done or duplicated at an institutional level. It's never been able to
Ah,
successfully unless it's a small proprietary trading firm with like less than $1 billion assets under management. And again, there's a specific number for that. But once you get into a hedge fund that say has $100 billion assets under management, you can't have people day trade. Like imagine you're trying to day trade ES futures, and to make it worth your time, you need to enter 1,000 contracts per entry, right? This is 1,000 times heavier position sizing than what we're doing right here for our first entry. That doesn't work at scale. You're not going to get filled at price.
ah. I
You
thought maybe they would have an algorithm even to do it.
well, you could, but say you have the algorithm.
One that they manage. I mean, not 100% automated, but just one that they tweak as the uh, the character of the asset changes.
Yeah, but I mean, even if you had an algorithm do it, say they wanted to sell 1,000 contracts, if
Order filled.
like me right now, I'm going to sell 1,000 contracts. So if they were to do that, then there would quite literally likely not be enough liquidity at that exact second at that exact price to fill their order. And so they would
Oh yeah, because it's so huge.
exactly. So they'd have to
Yeah.
layer in, right? And then that's let alone say 10,000 contracts at one price in 1 second. They'd have to layer it in like 100 contracts, and they have to do that like 100 times or like 500 contracts if they're able to. I don't know how it works. But all I'm saying is things like day trading, it does not work at an institutional level. It's been tried over and over and over again, and it just doesn't fucking work. And so that's
Gotcha.
why it's not worth their time. It's better, their time is better spent buying and holding assets that are likely to
Order filled.
go up long term, or if they're shorting it, that are likely to go down long term, and then just holding large positions. And then they have to unravel their positions over the course of a couple days, a couple weeks, sometimes even a couple months. Like Berkshire Hathaway, Buffett has to sell a little bit of his Apple stock every quarter because he wouldn't be able to get filled the price would change too much if he tried to sell a shit
Mm.
ton of his Apple stock all at one price at one day. And so they have to kind of unravel. It's a completely different game. That is why institutions and hedge funds like do not day trade, and that's why that model doesn't work. There's just no fucking liquidity for it.
Got it.
Yeah. But it works for us. I mean, if we're trading little contracts here and there.
Well, good, I guess. Good that no one else is teaching this.
Got about $1,000 left in my drawdown limit. But fuck, see, if only I'd been able to have added to that. I'll put the stop to break even.
Whoa.
Yeah. I'm gonna wait to see if it lurches back down. And if it does, I'm gonna add and then see if we can get a nice little runner. But shit like that, I went into like $500 profit, I think, at its biggest. Yeah, like $500 profit at its peak. Or I guess
Nice.
trough. Is that a trough? Peaks and troughs.
Peaks and troughs. Very, very sexy.
Order filled.
Add there, move the stop to break even. We're gonna let this one play out. I'm also gonna add aggressively if we start tanking back down again. Looks like it'll hit
Order filled.
hits break even, so I'm gonna see if I can get back in and build a position. But shit like that happens just out of
Just
nowhere.
as weird.
Yeah.
Order filled.
Go. We knock out the low, I'll add again. Rob, you still on the call? Looks like he hopped off. He was in that DAX trade. I wanted to see how that was going.
Order filled.
Adding again, tightening up the stop.
Are there some people that come on every day and never talk or ask questions?
Oh yeah, there's a ton of people. So what we've got Andreas, Dave, Henny, Johnny.
Order filled.
A couple of them will talk every now and then, but a lot of people don't. Just join and just kind of watch from the background because they're at work or they don't have a microphone or they're scared to get on and risky getting yelled at by Nick Sean on a live session.
Embarrass yourself.
Nick, I risked 100% of my account per trade. I was gonna ask for your input on it, and I'll be like, pull out my scythe. Pull out my sword.
I don't care. I know I'm going to embarrass myself because I'm new. And I figure that's just yet another cost of learning.
Yeah.
Order filled.
Speaking of going, I have to go. I'm getting really sore. My wrist's not used to this much clicking action.
Yeah, it's also pretty late there. What time is it? Like 2 a.m.?
No, it's only 10. It's only 11, coming up to 11.
That's
I
not
would normally stay up, but my eyes are getting sore and I've been at it all day.
been at it all day through Asian session.
Yeah, never again.
Never again, man. I learned my lesson
Never
real
again.
quick.
Yeah.
Real quick.
And it kind of tricked me because I had one nice trade where it did move exactly as I expected, and so I had to kind of learn it twice.
Order
Yeah.
filled.
Nah, never again. This is much better.
Sweet. Well, hope you get some
Like
rest.
if you switched it to Heiken, what are those called? Those Heiken Ashi or something? Heiken Ashi. Look how clear that is. Up, down, up, down, up, down. It's just beautiful. And big moves.
I've used them before, but I've never really noticed it makes much of a difference.
No, I just mean how you can see very clearly that the trends, like if you were very dialed in today, Could have made a lot of good trades.
Order filled.
There's a lot of big ups and big downs.
Yeah, I don't know. I've used Taikanashi before, and
Order filled.
it's all been the same for me.
No, I don't mean that. Just zoom out then and look at the zigzagginess of today's New York session.
Mhm.
It's it's beautiful.
Yeah, it does look really sexy. Yeah, a lot
Order filled.
way cleaner.
Order
Dynamic
filled.
moves up and dynamic moves down.
Mhm.
All right, I'm off. Thanks so much. This was like gold.
Yeah,
Gold.
yeah, of course.
Ciao.
Order filled.
Anybody else on a microphone want to talk? Andres, Dave, Henny, Johnny, Zach. You guys alive? We'll take that as a no. I'll keep trading my way through this. I've only got about $1,000 left of drawdown. So today
Order filled.
today this account is either going to get, I got 900 now. It's either it's going to breach the drawdown limit, and then I'll have to get reset. There's nothing I'm going to do different. I'm going to keep trading the same way. And then if it blows, then I'll just pay to reset the account and just start over. But I might do it on ES micros just to ensure. Let's see. MES.
Order filled.
Yeah, this might be a lot more reasonable.
Hey, Nick.
Hey, David.
Order filled.
Yeah, MES. This
Sorry, I'm trying to switch from my laptop to my
you're
phone.
good. You're good, man. Yeah, I'll probably be doing MES if this account blows. This will give me like I won't have to risk 50 to 75 bucks per trade. I could risk like 25. So that means with all the losing streaks, it'll still be fine, and I can still pile in. So I think a maximum of 15 contracts. I don't know on MES the contracts would be.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. I was trying to switch from my laptop to my phone. Got a little feedback.
Yeah, what's up?
I was going to say the same thing. Could you switch to micros and let's see if it's easier or harder? Or... Looks like you beat me to it.
Good shit. Yeah, if this one blows, then I'll probably switch to micros. But honestly, you do the same thing. I think you have the maximum sizing though of 15, so it would really cap the upside potential. But then again, it would also cap the downside potential. The whole idea is like, can I go without getting a $4,500 losing streak on any given day? And if I'm unable to do that, then micros would be better because that could give me like 100 trades. I could lose in a row and still be fine.
Order filled.
Yeah, I didn't know if you could move the stop a little bit because it looks like a lot of yours hit the stop and then turned around and went in your direction.
Yeah, so the stop can be a little bit wider. I'm gonna see
Order
what
filled.
15 contracts do. So that's $100, but I can't add any more than that.
Order filled.
Oh, I can. Holy shit. Okay, well, yeah, this will work great on micros then, because I can go above 15 contracts. I'm gonna
That's cool.
see. When trading with the $150,000 combine account on Top Step futures, I am wondering what the maximum position size for the micro ES futures is. Oh, so it's the same shit. Yeah. You can use 150 micro contracts, which is the same as the 15 contracts of volume on minis. That's perfect. So I can still get into that maximum position sizing, but I can break it up into a lot more reasonable chunks as I build a position. So that's great. So I'll be doing micros going forward for the rest of this week.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I wish I would have known this yesterday, or maybe I wish I would have tried it yesterday.
Order filled.
Yeah, this gives it way more room to run.
Order filled.
I'm gonna keep muting because my allergies are killing me.
Yeah, good luck, man. You doing any fluticasone like Flonase or anything?
I used to years ago. I hadn't had a problem in a long time, so it's just been this weekend. If it keeps up, I'm gonna have to try it
Order
again.
filled.
Fluticasone nasal, it's like I think glycocorticoid. It's essentially like a corticosteroid you put in your nose.
Order filled.
Reduces the inflammation and it just reduces your body's inflammatory reaction, which is amazing. And that's locally in your nose, so it's not really absorbed systemically, which is great because you don't have long-term effects of using corticosteroids. So that's just Flonase. The other one is cetirizine hydrochloride, which is Zyrtec, cetirizine. That's amazing. It takes a couple days to kick in and start working, but it suppresses your body's like response to things like allergies and inflammation in your sinus passages.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to give it a try again. 4th of July, I must have sneezed 300 times.
Order filled.
That sucks, dude.
Yeah, it was bad. At
Allergies are horrible.
Order filled.
least the neighbors were lighting lots of fireworks.
Order
So it didn't
filled.
bother them when I was outside.
Yeah.
Order filled.
I was also thinking if you got into trading other things like NASDAQ or gold
Order
or
filled.
oil or whatever, you could just open a different account, trade two different accounts so you could see your stats on the different trades. So if it's what we were talking about earlier was gold, if you just decided to trade gold, you could just open another $150 account for gold.
Yep, and that's what I'm gonna do as well. But I'm gonna do it for futures and just copy trade them all. So that way I'll essentially be able to take all the same trades but with more volume.
No, I mean if you wanted to trade something different, so you can't copy trade to a different, like you can't go NASDAQ to S&P, right?
Yeah.
So
Order filled.
That's if I want to trade gold, which I don't know.
Order
no, I
filled.
just use that as an example. You mentioned NASDAQ before.
Order filled.
The Nazi.
Yeah.
Order filled.
You're going to hear this in your sleep for sure.
Oh yeah, I did. I'm
Order filled.
gonna look to see if there's a way to turn it off. Let me see. When I'm trading on Top Step Micro ES futures, every time I click enter, comma, I hear a voice that says, quote, order filled, quote, comma, and I am trying to figure out how to turn this bullshit off. Disable, okay, so miscellaneous, locate sound alert, setting. Miscellaneous.
Or if you could set it so you only hear it when you take profit.
Okay, well, I've turned it off, so. Yeah, it would be cool if you could only do it with profit. Let's see. Dude, thank God. Thank the good Lord. No more order filled. Yeah. I don't want to get PTSD to where I'm like scared to come near my computer. You're like, hey Nick, and I'm off today. I was wondering if you're gonna be live trading. I'd love to hop on. And I'll be like, David, I'm scared. And you're like, what are you talking about, man? And I was like, I don't want my order to get filled, bro. And you're like, come on, it's not that big of a deal. And I'm just like shaking in the corner, too scared.
You can't go out to a takeout place where it's order filled.
Order filled. Start shaking.
I guess it'd be good for swing trades. So if you happen to walk by the computer and it's been 2 days and it says order filled, hey,
Yeah, I mean, like if you're by your computer all the time.
I know you don't have a firm take profit, but have you thought about just taking some profit like here on some of these trades to kind of wash some of the losses? Just take
Yeah.
them early.
Yeah, that's what I normally do. So like I had one that I was down 3K and then I won like 1,500, and so I used it to wipe the loss to make it to where I was only down 1,500.
Okay.
Yeah, I do that. It's particularly useful if you get closer to the max loss limit.
How much room do you have now on this one?
About 600 bucks. Yeah, I anticipate this one will go, and if that's actually a good thing, because then it means I can start fresh, knowing what I know now with micros instead of the minis.
Yeah.
And so I'll be able to kind of get a lot more. Because now with the risk being like, say, 15 to 20 bucks for each initial entry and all subsequent positions, I could still stand to make 500 to $1,000 in a trade, but having risked only 20, 30 bucks. And with you being able to have 150 contracts, like, I mean, it's
Imagine if you had to listen to order filled every time you click that button 90 times.
nightmare fuel, man. I'd lose my shit. You go back to work tomorrow?
Yeah. You gonna be live all week?
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna try to work while listening. So I'll probably be on mute.
Yeah, for sure, man.
I'm gonna jump in the car now actually and go get a coffee. So I'm gonna mute you.
Oh, good, man. Yeah, you need that coffee.
Good luck with the rest of the day.
Yeah, thanks, man. What is this shit? What is this sorcery? The 3-line break chart? What the hell? There's all these wild charts up in here, never seen before.
That was a secret sauce, Nick.
Who would have thunk, man? Line break charts, whatever the fuck that means. I'm gonna look into more. I'm always wanting to learn new stuff, but very interesting. The line break chart.
Pretty sure that was your whole issue. It's not in Porsche blue.
Yeah. It does paint moves like this a lot clearer. Hey, what's up? It paints moves like this a bunch clearer.